All right, so we are here on December 1st. We made it. We're done doing our kettlebell swings, 50 a day in November, but we are moving on to our burpee challenge, which is a burpee for every calendar day of the week. So on December 1st, which is today, we're going to do one burpee, the second two, the third three, etc., all the way up to the 31st, where we're doing 31 burpees. And sometimes they'll be part of the warm-up, sometimes they'll be incorporated into the workout. What you need for today's workout, I was just mentioning, for our WOD, you're going to want to have a clock going of some sort, whether it's on a watch or on a phone, whatever you could do to track 30 seconds of rest. So that's just a little side note for accessory. For warm up, you're going to need a single dumbbell or kettlebell. And then eventually we're going to add a second. So a lightish set. I'm going to just demo quickly a few of the moves that we're going to do in the warm up. And so we have our alternating hang power cleans, which we have done before. Remember, when we're hanging, we always deadlift the weight up first. You can choose to come from in between your legs or from the side, whatever works for you. But what we're really looking for is making sure that you're hinging at the hip and using your legs and glutes to load, as opposed to bending your torso up and down and using your back. So make sure with your hang, you're initiating with a hinge and you're power cleaning. So you're receiving the dumbbell in like a quarter squat and standing all the way up and then switching. So I'm always loading with that hinge. Later on, we're going to do doubles. We are going to do dumbbell deadlifts today. We are going to start with singles. And again, eventually we're going to do doubles. With these, we want to watch that we're not really doing kind of a dumbbell squat. So we don't really want to see a lot of bend in your knees. What you really want to see is a slight bend in your knees, but again, initiating with that same hip hinge. So sending those hips back, bending down, touching. So I have a slight bend to my knees, but I'm not squatting. So we really want to put the focus in the hamstring and the glutes. Okay, and so again, we're going to do one to start. With the single dumbbell deadlift, we'll just be here, and then later we'll do two hands in the workout. But really think about hinging at the hip and not bending and turning that into a squat. We are also going to do our devil's press, which I feel like we haven't done in a while, at least on here. And so remembering that we're going down into like a burpee position, we're touching our chest, and then taking the weight up in like a snatch. In the warm-up, we're going to alternate. You could switch on the floor. Whoa. Watch where you are in your garage so you're not messing up your garage doors. But think about keeping that weight close and getting it up above your head. So we are going to do both single and double dumbbell versions in the warm-up. We're also going to do some bear crawling. So go ahead and get your weights ready on the lightish side and get your space set up for that. And we will get going in a minute. If there's any questions about the moves, go ahead and ask them. We're doing our normal 40 seconds on, 20 seconds off, times 8 rounds. Let me just get that clock ready. And 20. And we're actually going to start off this warm up with a bear crawl. So make sure you have a little space. Whatever you can do to go forward, back. Eventually, you're going to count your steps. Every step is one. you have your dumbbells ready, we're gonna get ourselves going. All right, so we're gonna get going in 10. We're gonna start on the floor with a bear crawl, just going forward and back in your space, whatever it is, 3 up, 3 down. For our bear crawl, 3, 2, 1, go. We're thinking about keeping our knees and shins perpendicular to the ground, alternating arms and legs. Maybe we should work together. Like, comes next to me.
I got it.
And thinking about a good flat back, nice tight torso. We're actually going to add weight to these later, which is going to be tricky. 2, 1, and rest. I'll turn the volume up on that. Go ahead and grab a single dumbbell. We're going to do single dumbbell or kettlebell deadlifts. So if you have a dumbbell like I'm using, you're going to hold it at the head. If you have a kettlebell, you're just going to hold the top of the bell. Remember, initiate with that hip hinge. Just a slight bend in your legs. Really putting that tension into the hamstrings and the glutes. As you come out, give everything a squeeze. And make sure you have a good straight back. Neck is in neutral position. You don't want to do any craning of the neck. I just let my head follow along with the rest of my back. 2, 1. All right, now we're going into the alt hang power clean. So again, you can go from deadlift it up first, always from the clean position, hang position. You could do in between the legs or to the side, whatever feels good for you. Initiate with that hinge. You catch at a quarter squat and stand up with it. Slight hop. We've been doing so many, I feel like we've been doing so many squat cleans. This almost feels weird. All right. Now we're going to grab our second dumbbell. We're going to do the same movement with double dumbbells. So again, make sure you're deadlifting up your weight to standing to start. And same thing here with your stance. Initiate with that hinge. And then get them up. Follow down. Same kind of motion as a kettlebell swing. Let the weight bring you down, straight back. Initiate with the legs. Receive it in a quarter squat. Get under that weight and stand up with it. All right, now we're going to go onto the floor and we're going to do our double dumbbell bear crawl. So basically doing a bear crawl as we were, but we're using the dumbbells going front and back. So again, my knees are just slightly above. When you get to your edge of your mat, back up. We're going to be doing 32 steps in the workout. So if you can get yourself in a position where you're doing 8 steps, every time you move the weight is 1 step. Those are going to be tricky. Now we're doing a single dumbbell devil's press just to warm that movement up. So you're going to alternate. You can switch on the way down or switch on the ground. So we're going to go down, touch our chest, come back up. Weight goes up, down. One of my favorite moves, the devil's press in general, and all of CrossFit. Maybe it's just because it has a cool name. 2, 1, rest. Now we're going to get down and do some body weight straight leg sit-ups. If you have an ab mat and you want to put one underneath, go for it. Legs are straight. Come up. Go down, shoulders touch. Come up, reach. Touch your toes. When we get into our devil's press finisher, every minute on the minute, including 0, we're going to stop and do 5 of these just to break it up. Still thinking about trying to keep your back straight and not too rounded. Obviously, it's going to round a little as you reach to your toes. Rest. And now we're going to finish off with a double dumbbell devil's press. So both weights together. Start with something lighter. And go. Always hike it back down between your legs as you're bringing the weight down. As you jump up, try to get your feet to land in the position that you want. So have them come out wide into that athletic position, clearing out room for the weights to come up in between your legs. And rest, swing them down carefully. That is our warm-up. Oh, everybody do one burpee. Sorry, I mentioned it. And we were supposed to do that to start. So go ahead, do one burpee. Feet go back together, chest touches the ground. Feet come up, and we jump. And we got our December 1st burpee down and done. All right. The workout is going to be a 16-minute AMRAP. We're going to do 8 double dumbbell deadlifts. And the RX is 50 and 35. So just like we did before, with 2 dumbbells instead of 1. So again, hinging with that hip, my knees are slightly bent. We're not turning it into a squat. One head of each dumbbell has to touch, and then you stand up. 8 here. Then we go into 16 hang power cleans here, and then 32 bear crawl steps. So 8 deadlifts, 16 hang power cleans, 32 bear crawl steps. Every time you step counts as 1 rep. Once you do 8, 16, 32, you are taking a mandatory 30-second rest. So have a watch, have a phone out, whatever you could use as a timer to time your 30 seconds, because since we'll all be in different spots, I won't be able to track that for us. If you could set it up for space that you could do 8 forward and 8 reverse crawls. If you go forward, back, that's your 32. I've already mentioned 1 head of each dumbbell touches. If your weights require you to scale, meaning you have weights that are too heavy to do doubles, do all the things we did single-wise in the beginning. You could do a single dumbbell deadlift. You could do an alt hang power clean, 1 arm at a time. You could do a body weight bear crawl as well without weights. And if that gets challenging, go to your knees in the bear crawl, okay? 1 round total complete is 56 reps. So we will be scoring our total rounds and reps. Questions about the WOD? 8 deadlifts, 16 hang power cleans, 32 bear crawls, 50-35 RX. You're going to scale for what's good for you. 30 seconds of mandatory rest in between rounds. You keep going. It's 16 minutes. So I'm going to get our clock set. It's just a countdown from 16. And honestly, it doesn't matter if your clock's running with mine, as long as you have something that you can track 30 seconds with, even if you just have a quick 30-second timer that you start. That's all fine. I'm tracking the total of the workout. All right, take a second to get your weights in order. I'm going to get mine in order. Again, think about good positions throughout. Really initiating with the hinge in a lot of your motion. And then getting your spot ready for your bear crawls. This may get ugly. I'm going to try the 50s. I am going to get the chance to stop and check you all out. So I do get a little break in the AMRAP, but I'll try and keep them short this time and stay honest with you all. I'm going to get the timer set here. And we have our AMRAP, 8 dumbbell deadlifts, 16 hang power cleans, 32 bear crawls with weight, 30 seconds rest, starting with the deadlifts in 10 seconds. Good luck, move well, have fun. 2, 1, go. Check your timer as you're finishing. Mark your 30 seconds. Whew. That was taxing. So 8, 16, 32. Remember, you're hinging as you're bringing those weights down. Catching them in that quarter squat, standing up all the way. If you put them down to break up the set, remember to deadlift them up. Whew. Those are tough. Keep it up. About 5 minutes in. Try and keep those legs a little straighter, Tim, if you can. That's a little bit more of a squat than a deadlift. Really hinge for those hang cleans. Think about our hinge that we do for kettlebell swings. Same principle for the hinge and the hang power cleans. halfway. Whew. Keep it up. Stick with it. Good. Woo. If you're looking to break up or starting to break up like I am, think about doing 7 deadlifts, stopping, starting with 8, and then going right into your hang cleans. Well, you're maximizing your efficiency in the work. Oh man, just under 2 minutes. Wow. Hang in there. Final 60 seconds. Twenty. Three, two. Wow. All right. We're taking a 3-minute rest period. Oh man, those bear crawls were tough. Coming forward in particular. Beth told me we were going to underestimate them, and she was right. Whew. All right, we're taking a 3-minute rest at this timer. And then we're going into 10 minutes of devil's press. Every minute on the minute, starting on 0, we do 5 of those straight leg sit-ups. I'm adjusting my weight because I don't feel like there's any way I could do 50s today. And that's okay. Better to scale the weight and get the work in than to go with heavier weight and be staring at it because you're getting tired or fatigued, or worse, getting hurt. Make sure you're hydrating, try and get your breath in order. Oh. Again, if you have an ab mat and you want to use it for your sit-ups, go ahead and get that set up.
Eric, I think I'm going to do, I promise I don't have any good other alternative dumbbells. I either have 235s or 210s. And my shoulder's kind of sore from something. I don't know what I did just now. So I think I'm just going to do singles instead of doubles.
Yep, that's totally fine. Listen to your body and do what's right. Absolutely. I know that's why I'm scaling down. My shoulders are killing me from the shoulder presses yesterday. I did a ton of double unders on Sunday, so I'm feeling really tight through my back and shoulders and rotator cuffs. And I was feeling it during the hang power cleans as well. So I'm definitely not going. So do the single and keep the intensity up. That's just as good. Okay. Absolutely. We are focusing on longevity, performance, consistency. And if we're hurting ourselves or doing too much, then we're not going to be able to hit those things. 30 seconds left here. I'm gonna get one last sip. I haven't used these adjustable dumbbells in a while. They're so big and bulky. All right. Let me reset our clock here.
How long is it? 10 minutes?
10 minutes with every minute on the minute. Starting at 0, 5 straight leg body weight sit-ups. So we're actually going to start on the floor with those. All right.
So is this continuous? So 5 sit-ups starts
5
the minute
sit-ups.
and then
Devil's press, and then at the next minute you stop and do 5 sit-ups. You're just accumulating as many devil's press as you can in the 10 minutes, but stopping every minute for the 5 sit-ups.
so it's continuous, right? There's
Yes.
no
Yes.
yeah. Your break is the rest is the sit-ups. So that's your rest.
I like to think of it that way. Yes. And then, I mean, obviously, as you're doing them and it gets harder, you may be doing less per minute. Think about pacing yourself. You don't want to fire off in the first 2 minutes and then you're not moving the last 4 or 5, right? So
Okay, so you're gonna call off top of the minute then for
yeah, I have a beat going and I'll also call it off. Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep. All right, here we go. Starting in 10, on the floor, straight legs. 3, 2, 1, go. Three, 2, 1, go, sit-ups. Sit-ups. Keep moving, you're doing good. Go. Sit-ups. Yep. Sit-ups. Halfway. Woo. Sit-ups.
Sit-ups. Yeah.
Doing great. Sit-ups. 2 minutes left. Last round. Finish strong. Ah. Woo. All right, catch your breath. We're gonna gather ourselves for a minute or two and then get into some mobility. Woo! Oh man, that was tough. All right, let's get 6 minutes on the clock. Oh. All right, let's do a couple. Let's get on our feet. Do a couple deep breaths just to get ready. Get our breathing under control. Join in when you're ready. We're gonna do 5 deep breaths. So start by coming down low. Big inhale. And then exhale down. Big inhale. Exhale down. This is 3, 4, 5. This time drop and just let all yourself flap and do kind of like a roll up elephant, swinging side to side, just to help get our back together. We're going to start out on the floor. Actually, we're going to be on the floor the whole time. Starting with a side rotational shoulder stretch. So get down on all fours. My butt is up. I'm sending one arm flat, my right arm out and flat, palm towards the ground, putting that ear on the floor. And just feeling that stretch in my right shoulder and pectoral. Left arm is supporting. Did a lot of work on our shoulders. I know a lot of you were feeling yesterday too. And just breathe. 2, 1. Bring that right arm in. Come up. We're going to switch sides. So left ear going to the mat, left arm going down, palm down. And you can play around with the position if you like a little higher or lower. Whatever gets you that stretch. You might find one side is more open than the other, like my left is much more open than my right side. Probably because I'm right hand dominant. I'm using that right hand to kind of push and twist my torso into the stretch. Hips above my knees. Oh, all right. We're going to stay on the ground. Next one is a hip opener. So we're going to kind of go into that lunge with our back knee down. And we are going to push our hip, our right knee, away from our body. Really getting into that hip, groin, inner thigh, adductor. Just literally pushing it away. Excuse me, I'm actually turning so that my torso and navel are kind of facing the ankle that I'm pushing away. Really pushing into that, and then also feeling the stretch in my left hip flexor. Squeeze your left glute. Come out of that, switch legs. Left leg comes up, right leg is back, toes are untucked. I am pushing into my left knee with my left hand, turning my torso so I'm facing the ankle, and then engaging that right glute, which should help you feel a little more stretch into your right hip flexor in the front. They are opposing muscle groups. So when you flex one, the opposition actually goes into more of a stretch reflex. Just pushing that knee away. And breathing. 2, 1. And we're going to stay on the ground for our last one, a kneeling hamstring stretch. So get that foot out a little bit. You're going to get your heel tucked into the ground. Get your positioning and just use that heel as a stop as you work to square your hips. And what you should be feeling is that stretch in your hamstring really coming out of your glute. You could put your hands on your knee, keep your back straight, but lean in towards your knee. Sort of that hip hinge position. And really feel that kicking back in your hamstring. This is a position with a little bit of movement makes a big stretch. And I find that this one really targets towards the top. Switch legs. Really targets towards the top of the hamstring where it meets the glute, which is for me where I'm super tight. So once you get your position, your balance, hands on your knee, working to keep my hips square, hinging at the hip, keeping my back straight, leaning towards my thigh. And really that foot, that heel becomes like a stopper almost. So as you send your hips back and lean forward, that's helping to create the stretch. Did a lot of work with the deadlifts and our hip hinges for our hang power cleans. Got to treat our body right. We got the open is about 2 months away or so. So one thing that I'm really working on that's kind of low impact is mobility. And so you could work it in different times of day and really help work on your positioning and your movements, quality of movement. So I'd encourage you to do some mobility every day, before, after your workout, middle of the day, whenever you can. And you guys did a great job. But again, this was a tough workout, a lot of work, a lot of grinding. You should feel great about yourselves. Hope you all had a happy Thanksgiving. Happy 1st of December. And don't forget to do those burpees each day.
All right.
I'll do it, Eric. I'm doing it. You heard it here.
I'll be knocking on your door if not.
Okay.
I'll have my mask. I'll be distanced.
What else do
I'll
I
be
have
telling
to
you
do?
to do 'em.
Do burpees.
All right, y'all. You have a great week.
Yeah.
Thanks
Bye.
for coming.